Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of Mastery in Commerce. I hope you are liking my videos. I'll be grateful if you click on the like button, and if you're liking them and you want your friends also to watch the videos and understand the topics from the basics, then please subscribe my channel and share with your friends. The motive behind giving these videos from the basics of accounting is only this, that initially as a student, what I felt when I started my commerce stream, I felt that there are certain terms used by my teachers which I am not able to understand where am I using in my practical life. So I want to introduce you from the basics of those topics, and you should have a clear vision in your mind that why are you reading this topic, or what is the reason behind learning transaction, debit, credit, accounts, accounting, why we are doing it. Practically, where are the areas where we are using these terms. That is why when I started taking the initial classes, I gave you the introduction of each term. I wanted you to theoretically be present and understand that why practical things are happening, right? In the next class, I try to make you understand that how in balance sheet each amount is calculated and entered in asset or liability side. In our routine language, we don't use these kind of terms which we are using in accounting. So you should be clear about what is an asset, what is a liability. I hope by now these two terms are quite relatable to the practical level how a business is run in the market, right? Assets are whatever possessions I have to run my business. Liabilities are whatever I am liable to pay to the external customers, or the business is liable to pay to me back, like the capital. See, this term capital is very important because it is again and again being used, and most of the times I have seen my students are not able to understand the meaning of capital. As a student of accounts, it should be clear in your mind that what is a capital. Capital is the amount invested by the owner in business. Okay, so suppose I want to start my business with 1 lakh rupees in my pocket. Any business, it may be a small vendor also, okay, it may be a small shop on rent. So the initial amount which I have in my hand is the capital, right? So this should be clear to you when you're moving ahead with your accounting. Another terms which are used again and again are debit and credit. Being my student, please be clear that what is debit and what is credit. Now in accounts there are three basic principles which are followed, which in your book are given later. So I want to tell you these things now only, so that you are quite clear about the three basic rules of accounting, which again come under three heads: real, nominal, and personal. When it is related to money, it is called as real. When it is related to profit and loss, it is called nominal. When it is related to some person, then it is called personal. Now different type of transaction businessman is dealing with in his routine life, right? He may be giving the cash, he may be getting the cash, he may be earning the profit, he may be earning the loss or suffering the loss. He may be making a payment to a person or getting a money from a person. So accordingly the rules of accounts keep on changing. The first we will see is real account, in which the rule apply: debit what comes in, credit what goes out. How we do it, you will come to know later. First I want you to learn these. This should be our tips. Like in maths you learn the multiplication tables, right? Without multiplication table you cannot imagine of how to study maths. So similarly, if you really want to move forward with accounts, learn these golden rules. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. It is part of real account, right? Then nominal account is debit the loss or expense, credit income or gain. Okay, so it is what we do whenever we incur a loss, we debit it. Whenever we have a gain or income, we credit it. Now, in personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. Okay, so these three are the basic rules. Again and again in every class, I'm going to ask you to please recap these golden rules if you really want to move forward. Okay, now debit and credit. What is the basic meaning of debit and credit? That meaning means in the accounts, whenever we are getting something, we debit it. Whenever we are losing or we are doing any expense, we debit it. Whoever is the receiver, we debit that receiver. When the money goes out, we credit it. When the income or gain. Okay, now another thing which you have to keep in mind, these rules apply to you as a businessman. You are the owner of a business, you are running a business. How you are maintaining your accounts, that you keep in mind. As an employee, don't think, because as an employee, when I'm getting the salary is credited, right? Don't take that into consideration. You have to study it as if you are the accountant and you are preparing the books of accounts. So while I'm the accountant, I'm the owner of a business, I am going to debit and credit certain things to find out at the end whether I'm earning or I'm losing, right? So debit and credit are two sides of my account. You know the alphabet T in English? So our accounts are always in the form of T. Okay, so here comes the company name, whatever is the name of the company. This side is the debit side and this side is the credit side, right? This rule has an exception also. What is that exception? I will tell you later, right? I hope till now, and I request each account student to please note down three basic rules on the first page of your accounts register, because these three basic rules will help you to understand the transactions happening in everyday life. And this chapter, the third chapter, we will take time, we will understand it properly, so that later you are not facing problem in making other books of account. Okay, now another thing I want to tell you, which I as a student I had faced, uh, is that why so many kinds of accounts we are preparing, how they are interrelated to each other, what is the relation between them. See, the things earlier, the children were like, you tell them something and they used to follow you, but now the children want to know the reason behind learning. They are quite logical, what I feel, how the present generation is. So let me tell you, the books of account are in the following parts. The first thing is journal. Whenever any transaction takes place, we enter them into journal. From the journal, we prepare the ledgers. After the ledgers are prepared, we prepare the trial balance. Also, the cash book. Cash book is also kind of ledger only. Then from these we prepare the final accounts. This is how the books of accounts are maintained by a normal business. I am not talking about non-profit organizations or single entry system. No, I am talking about double entry system. That is why double entry system means what? whenever any transaction takes place, it is recorded in two places, right? Double entry. Like we did in the last class, that when I am purchasing a machinery, so assets are adding and my cash is going out, right? So at one side I am getting something, one side something is going. Understood? You have to spend cash to purchase any kind of asset or anything in your business. These things please keep in your mind if you really want to be proficient in learning accounts, right? Now, after see, these things are nowhere given in your book, but you should understand that why accounts are being prepared and why are we dealing with them. Now, first thing which you have to learn is that how debit and credit rule goes, which is explained to you. Please open your textbook on page number 54. How they have given you rules of debit and credit. I don't want you to go in learning them or mugging them up. No use of it. Understand them logically, because I never learned them. I only understood that how I'm adding them and how they are affecting my business. Always think you have to do the transactions thinking yourself as the accountant or the person who is working for the company or the owner of the company, right? We are working for the business house. Always imagine that. Don't place yourself in the place of the customer. Okay, you are not the customer, you are the accountant. So rules of debit and credit, we will go in that later. First of all, we will see all accounts are divided into 5 categories. The 5 categories are assets. These are the terms which I just now explained you when I told you that what is the meaning of them. The next, capital, also I introduced you in the starting of the chapter. Then over here we have expenses or losses, means wherever I am spending money or I have incurred some loss. See, loss and business go hand in hand. Wherever business is running, you may have a kind of loss also. Next is revenue or gain. So revenue, you know, when you earn something, that is the revenue, and gain is when you are selling something above the cost. Suppose I have made a pen. While making the pen, I have used refill, ink, then the outer cover of the pen, then the cap of the pen. So these all things costed me for 10 rupees. But in the market, I am selling it for 15 rupees. Like in maths, you have done your profit loss chapter, right? So the profit on this is 5 rupees. This is same rule we are using in accounts. So if you are trying to find out whether you have incurred a loss or a profit, the same SP minus CP, CP minus SP, the same formula which you were using while studying that chapter in math, right? Now we will see on page number 55, there are certain transactions given to you, how they are affecting the books of accounts. Rohit started business with cash 5 lakh, as I showed you on that day. That 5 lakh, if cash is started, then in cash also we are adding, and what he has brought the money, so capital also we have added with rupees 5 lakh. Don't see what 6-10,000 is written there for now, ignore it. Second, open a bank account with an amount of 4,80,000. Now if I have opened a bank account, means in my pocket if I had 4,80,000, I have gone and deposited it in bank. So from my pocket this much amount has reduced and I have to enter it on the opposite side of cash. You see, in the cash account, the debit side is 5 lakh. So out of this 5 lakh, what I will do? I will subtract 4,80,000, right? And where this 4,80,000 will go? It will go in the bank account, right? So these rules we have to keep in mind The same rules are applying everywhere as we did in our previous class. Bought furniture 60,000 and issued check for the same. Check, whenever check is issued, it means money is taken out from bank and it is deposited. So money is taken out from bank means from bank this much amount should be subtracted. So if I had added 4,80,000 earlier, now I will enter on the other side to subtract it. So always remember, in the T account, this is plus side, this is minus side. So whenever anything is being added, I will write over here. Whenever anything is subtracted, I will write over here. Right? This rule applies everywhere. Okay? And it is different in case of the credit accounts. Credit account means our liabilities. So this is different for this. For this rule, it will be like this. For capital account, the rule will be opposite, just opposite. For assets, it will be this. For liabilities, it will be this. Understood? Same way they have given you 9 points and they have used the same type of explanation. But these all things will become more clear when you will start with the accounting equation, which we will be doing in the next class. Means we will be starting with the illustration 1 and I will be explaining you. Plus I will also tell you, test your understanding. Till that class you have to learn the 3 basic rule of accounts: real, nominal, personal. Also you have to go through these journals which I made, but they will become more clear only after you learn journal entries, which in your book is given later. I am going according to the book because in schools also this kind of procedure is followed. As I am associated with the education industry from last 16 to 17 years, I know how the examinations are conducted, the projects are made, the different ways the teachers are implementing the things. The only worry for me is in the process of finishing up the syllabus, students are somewhere lagging behind in understanding the basics of accounting. Why? As a commerce student, you should know each thing you are doing has a logical meaning behind it, because an accountant has to every time think about the calculations in a logical way, right? And you know commerce has a bright scope, not only in our country but outside our country also. If you are expert in dealing with funds, you have n number of opportunities, right students? So you have to pay more attention in understanding the logic behind learning of each concept. So till page number 57, the starting of the transaction, you will finish it. Then test your understanding, and illustration 1 we will be doing in the next class. I request all of you to please like my channel and subscribe it and share with your friends. I am soon going to explain it to you that the basic of accounting is the biggest challenge for children who say that accounts is a tough subject. And really believe me, accounts is very easy subject. Once you understand the reason behind doing each thing, it will become quite simple and not complicated for you. I hope this video has helped you to understand certain basic rules of accounting and how the accounting equation we are going to prepare will be starting in the next video. Please like and subscribe my channel. It motivates me to work hard for you every time. Thank you very much. Bye.